Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the new week. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yes, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. Just one second. Yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. You can see we are basically taking out this high here, looking to test into this resistance area. We have obviously got here a series of lower highs, so that is obviously series of higher lows, so that is obviously potentially bullish, but realistically we know we've just got this resistance area we need to get through. So yeah, that is not looking too bad. Like we always say when we're down here, we've obviously got a very good chance of breaking down once we are testing the level. Ultimately we'll have a good chance of breaking this if we we'll have a better chance of breaking it whilst we're actually testing it, obviously, clearly. So do I expect us to blast straight on through? Probably not. But do we come into it, do we then pull back, consolidate underneath and then break through? Potentially that is an option. Obviously the third option is we could come back down and test this support again, and put in another higher low relative to these lows. That could also be a distinct possibility, but either way we're just going to see how it goes. In the rest of the markets we're going to go and have a look at, we can see the S&P futures here are looking to try and take out this series of obviously lower highs we've got here. I mean, we could potentially count that, but certainly this one and this one. If we take this out, then yes, we can come and test into the 4Ks potentially, and then end up into this next range above here with a 4K handle back on the S&P. Could we have put in the lows? Possibly. We shall have to see. Macro factors influencing us at the moment, I think, are the fact that I mean we've pretty much seen I think capitulation from the central banks with regards to their QT. The Eurozone is announcing basically unlimited, practically unlimited buying of bonds. We do know that the treasury markets are potentially going to seize up with obviously this increasing dollar value, so there is going to be intervention in that market. There has already been, obviously, and it has been intervention in Japanese bond markets and always will be to extreme levels. So I think that the downside could potentially have basically been reached, the full potential of the downside, because now we are going to have to see albeit surreptitious ways for central banks to still basically provide more liquidity into the system, because ultimately we all know we are in a fiat Ponzi system, and you can't just basically remove the liquidity and expect anything other than basically a collapse to zero. And do they want a collapse to zero? No. So are they going to have to come back and do something? Yes. Is that what is happening now? Pretty much. And markets already sniffed that out? It seems so. So yeah, we could have put in the lows, we could have done, and we could be onwards and upwards from here, unless something does break. But like I've said, they are now putting in measures basically to stop things breaking, so preempting it. And yeah, so we could contrary to what a lot of people do still believe, that we are going to come and test low. We need some sort of capitulation low. Maybe we are in a new paradigm in inverted commas. Ultimately we are talking about asset prices priced in their fiat currency, basically derivative, and that fiat currency number can easily still be inflated away its value at like 10% a year, if we are still going to have high inflation going forward. And that ultimately means that whilst asset prices number will go up, it doesn't necessarily mean they're actually going up in real value, but hey, we only care about number go up anyway, don't we? So, but yeah, if we also want to look at Ethereum Satoshi parent is making a very interesting move here. Absolutely blasted through some resistance areas, including this one here. In fact, we'll go to we'll go to a 12 hours so we can kind of see the levels that we are blasting through. This was obviously an important level here, which we did initially, as you can see, hit and pull back from, reject from, but we straight through it again now, and then on halfway on our way to the next relatively important level. So Ethereum Satoshi pairing is looking like it is going to start to price in the merge, the proof of stake. Also, this was oversold on the basis that that the most useful asset realistically in cryptocurrency is not Bitcoin, it's Ethereum. DeFi is built using and around Ethereum. So when we had the liquidations, Ethereum was obviously the asset that was going to get hit relative to Bitcoin, and that is the relative move down to Bitcoin. But ultimately, we like is the most used superior asset, so it should then recover and continue on upwards. And yeah, and that is potentially what we're seeing. I mean, this sideways range basically we've been in for a while, since well May 21. We're actually practically at the halfway point of this range. I mean, you could probably say it's around this level anyway, between one of these twos in this ratio, and we're not far away from that. We get above that, we're getting into the top half, and then we're looking to test the actual top of the range, and then onwards and upwards. So looking particularly bullish here, looking particularly good. We all know Ethereum is the superior asset. We all know Ethereum is going to go proof of stake. So regardless of what people say about it, we live in a world of narratives, and clearly that is going to be a narrative that plays along with what is one of the main narratives that has been pushed around the world of green energy, renewables, and all that fun stuff. So Bitcoin always has that to battle with. Ethereum won't. It will be a selling point. It will be a unique selling point relative to Bitcoin, and at which point it can potentially see more investment, especially on the basis that it is the more widely used superior asset anyway. So yeah, Ethereum doing well. We're looking at USD pairing, see if we're hitting any important levels here. Not particularly. This area is obviously an important one. So yeah, 1850, then just over 2000 above there, then yeah, I mean, it will look good for moves onwards and upwards. So we'll have to see. 10-year under 3%, not bad to see. Gold shift coin still down there in the dungeons, but I'm sure will potentially recover once obviously the market starts to more price in the fact that we are going to have massive basically QE in the bond market. Oil did fully test into the support zone, bouncing off at the moment. So let's see what happens. Does it continue to accelerate upwards? And it has basically just played out the dropping out of this channel, or do we have a weakish bounce and then come and take this level out and trade lower? Will be interesting to see. Obviously, we know this all the commodity bulls are getting severely squeezed in this market. What else do you want to look at? Yeah, this is obviously interesting to look at. This is still pre-elevated, so not an ideal scenario. But if bond yields, if more central banks are going to start supporting the bond market, it clearly takes the pressure off just the Japanese basically bond market that is getting supported. What else quickly look at? Nothing on there. Yeah, nothing on there. What else on here? Yeah, not much. We look at stochastics in a sec, but yeah, I mean, realistically, we are wanting to break above this resistance 23 and a half, and then I mean, we kind of have, there's not really much in the way of resistance until we get back up towards 30,000. So this whole range will be a nice area for gains. We've got this midpoint as well in here of relevance. Let's go to a 12-hour chart so we can kind of see. We've got this midpoint also of somewhat relevance, but this 30,000 is the only real major resistance we'll have once we get above here. So we could very easily see just ranging around here between potentially as high as 30,000, and then obviously what we would hope to be our new support level of 23,500. So yeah, that is a bullish case. Even if that is all that's to happen and we range between there before ultimately maybe the world financial markets fall apart and we trade lower, we can have significant gains and significant room for activities within this sideways range for a prolonged period before ultimately coming down. But there will still also be the risk of we then break above 30k and then just go on another another run. So yeah, things definitely looking better. What I personally think is that we have turned a corner with the market's perception of the fact that central banks are just going to collapse markets, because they're not. They don't care about stock markets, they don't care about obviously crypto markets, but they do care about their credit markets, their treasury markets, because that ultimately well, yeah, that is they are the most important markets. Basically, they do care about them, and they can't have those freeze over, and they basically were showing signs of looking very, very, very dicey. So yeah, I personally think we have turned this liquidity corner, so we could be seeing onwards and upwards. So let's have a look at those stochastics. 4 hour somewhat elevated, but you can see turning back up from this high level, which is obviously good. 10 hour, yeah, similar with 10 hour, looking to turn back up even at this high level. 12 hour, still got a bit of juice left in that 12 hour tank. And then daily did basically get supported at the bullish half, so yeah, plenty of room to still run in the daily. 2-day looking absolutely fantastic for more upside momentum. 3-day, yeah, looking good, turn up from a low level. 5-day up from a low level. Weekly up from a very low level. Bi-weekly up from a very low level. And even the monthly finally has lost a tiny bit of that downward momentum. But yeah, these larger time frames turning up. I mean, we really could have put in a bottom here, and looking at a significant bounce, even if that significant bounce is only going to take us to just sort of this midpoint area of even whilst we're looking at on this chart, anywhere between 30 and 40,000, which would be an extremely significant move. Even if, like I said, we roll over from that level, come back down, take these lows and go into absolute goblin town. But I mean, if we did get up here, it wouldn't be the base case scenario that we are then going to roll over and take out these lows. We potentially turn around. We potentially then trade between 30 and 40 for a period of time before ultimately going on a parabolic run. But yeah, I do think things are looking good. There are more and more signs that we are basically have put in our lows. A good chance of it. We need to get above 23.5. We need to trade into the deep 20k, so towards 30k. We then need to yeah, and then just establish price there, and then ultimately take out the 30k as opposed to break back below 23.5, and then we will be all set up for yeah, for substantial wealth creation again. So yeah, that is it, guys. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you are all well, and I shall speak to you guys soon.